she got some pregnancy tests and that type of thing. But what she didn't tell you is that all right, I wanted to give my perspective on Noelle's pregnancy. Obviously, extremely excited and happy about it. We had been talking about a third child in about the middle of last year. We were not really sure if we wanted to take that route. You know, in Seattle, it's extremely expensive to raise a child. Just due to daycare, housing, that type of thing, it's really pricey. So we weren't really sure. One of the reasons why I work from home with my business is because childcare here is really expensive. So, for example, you would probably spend with just Zoe and Zara. Zoe is 4, going to be 5 actually this month. And then Zara is 2.5, will be 3 in March. Just to have those two in daycare, you're going to probably spend somewhere in the neighborhood of about, what, $2,500 or so a month for daycare, for childcare. It's very expensive. You might be able to find something for maybe $1,500 to $1,800, but you're going to have to drive for quite a bit of ways. So it's pretty expensive here to put children in any sort of daycare. The other thing that we thought about when we had Zoe and Zara in daycare, Zara wasn't in daycare nearly as much as Zoe, but in New Mexico, when we lived in Albuquerque, we had them in daycare. And while that daycare was awesome, it was what we considered to be affordable, you had to worry about your kids getting sick. So it impacts your work life because obviously you never know when your kids are going to get sick because of other kids. You have to come get your kid if they're showing certain signs. If they have a fever, obviously, if they're throwing up or anything like that, you obviously have to pick your kid up. There was a bout of hand, foot, and mouth disease that was going around in some of the daycares there. And so you always have this fear that if they haven't gotten something, they may get something. And then trying to work with companies nowadays to get off is just impossible. So you're going to pretty much feel it, either shortening your vacation time so you can't really have vacation with your family, or whatever the case may be. And it was very difficult. Here in Seattle, it worked out very well because obviously Noelle has a tremendously great job. Her boss is the best. I've never seen someone like her boss, ever. I have nothing negative to say about her boss. Her boss is just spectacular. Hands down. So her boss is extremely flexible, extremely nice. And so we knew that if Noelle had to take off, it would be okay. But the problem was that when we first moved here, it would be her first year on the job. So you don't really have a lot of flexibility on your first year. She's trying to get to know the position. She's trying to, obviously impress everyone that she needs to impress there, that type of thing. So, and I wasn't sure what the employment situation would be like for me in terms of the jobs that I would get and the flexibility that they would have. And I was kind of tired of being in that whole corporate type of thing and all of that. So for me, it was better to just stay at home with the children, continue doing my business, and seeing the results, and just determining, being able to say, look, if I want to take 3 weeks off because of the baby, I could take 3 weeks off. I could take 3 months off. So that was and also vacations too. Noelle has, because she's dealing with students and the school, she has a lot of flexibility, but sometimes when it comes to certain times of the year, she doesn't have as much flexibility because obviously she has to be here in order to deal with whatever comes up. So I work around her schedule. So vacations can be anywhere we want to go and do for however long we want to do it. So that flexibility was great, and it works well with the kids. I had entertained the idea of possibly going back into the corporate world this year. But then after we had thought about having a second or a third child, sorry, I kind of said, you know what, let's continue to do what we're doing. So far, it's working very, very well. Things are looking great. Business is starting to pick up a little bit more. And, you know, I think we'll just see. So we had been talking about, as I mentioned, having a third baby middle of last year. And our whole goal, because everyone has said, hey, you're going to try for that boy, or you're going to try for that boy. And my thought is, you know, hey, we could try all we want, but we may end up with a third girl, which is fine. But we can't just keep having kids because we're thinking we're going to have a boy, or because, you know, they're cute or adorable or whatever. So we decided this would be the final child, and hopefully it would not be twins, because twins do run in my family. However, the gene is carried by the mother's family, and given that we don't know Noelle's family because she's adopted, it was this big question mark of like, is it going to be twins or not? So for me, it was exciting. I was extremely happy that we were going to be trying for a third child. As Noelle mentioned in her video, she was just off birth control for a short amount of time, and then bam, there it was. You know, she was pregnant. She talks about it some, saying that, you know, she went and she got some pregnancy tests and that type of thing. But what she didn't tell you is that she got her first set of tests. She took all of them the same night. Then she went and got more tests. Not only did she get just regular plus, you know, they tell you plus positive for pregnancy, but she also got digital tests. She took basically most of those. If you look at the bill for all of the pregnancy tests that she took and the different stores that she went to, from Target to Dollar Tree to different places, it was quite a bit. I mean, she spent a lot of money on different tests, going different places, and she took them all within 24 hours, basically. And it was quite funny that she was really, you know, because she didn't experience a lot of the same body symptoms that she had before. So that kind of said to me, okay, I think it's going to be a boy, right? I'm wishing and hoping that it's a boy. My first priority is, as always, healthy child, healthy mom, that type of thing, hands down. Having another girl, you know, I'm already outnumbered anyway. I had to recruit the 2 boy cats in order to try to keep the numbers up. And then we have another female cat. So, you know, I'm already outnumbered. If there was another girl, hey, I'm totally happy about that as well. If there's a boy, I would be, you know, very happy also. So, you know, to me, it was, okay, I think that you're pregnant and I think it's a boy. Based on just the fact she didn't have the symptoms, based on me, you know, hoping and wishing, that type of thing, but just extremely happy that we're able to grow our family. This year is going to be a big year, and I had mentioned that in the video last year, at the end of last year, and kind of put that on the beginning of her video. It's going to be a great year, and so there's a lot of different things that we're going to be doing, just in general. My trip to Haiti is going to be quite awesome. I want to take you guys along. I'm going to film some of what I'm going to be doing there, and just what's going on. It's difficult to leave my family just for a short amount of time, about 2 weeks, but it's something that, you know, obviously I have to do. It's going to be a yearly thing that I have to do, obviously, with doing business over there. But, you know, there's other things that we're going to actually do throughout this year, take trips and different things. Possibly moving into a house. We're currently right now in an apartment. It's great, wonderful location, great school. You can pretty much walk to it. It's about a block away. We have our own garden that we can walk to. It's wonderful, and as I mentioned, there's a lot of stores and everything. In this area, there's a tremendous amount of Chinese and Korean restaurants. Literally, you could probably stand in one block and you can see at least a dozen businesses that are either Korean Or if you go over here off of Aurora, you'll see Nothing But Chinese Businesses, a huge Asian food center that looks like a tiny mini mall. You walk in and you see different things. So we love this location. We may end up moving to a home possibly later this year. We just have to kind of weigh our options, in terms of just Noelle getting to her job in an efficient amount of time. The cost, again, housing here is crazy. So we have to really look at what makes sense. But we're happy that you are part of our family, that you're coming along for our journey. We're glad that you find this site interesting. We try to keep it interesting. We try to give you a little bit of an insight of what's going on with our lives. And this is just part of it. So thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for all the advice that folks have given us. Thank you for the thumbs up. And definitely thank you for the subscribe. Share our page, definitely. We don't mind that at all. And if you haven't done so, have a wonderful day. And we'll see you until next time. Take care.